what we can't do is kill our darn country by locking down anymore and driving us all into a Great Depression.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
We hope you're celebrating.
Yeah. We hope you're celebrating, and we hope you're not locking yourself up alone, crying over your turkey because the governor or the government told you not to. I got into it with, I don't want to say, getting into it is the wrong thing. I had there's very few people you can have a respectful conversation / debate on Facebook with. Mm-hmm. And I
think especially in a public forum where other people are inevitably going to come in on it.
And I must say, his crowd was very respectful of him, and they didn't pigpile and say some jabs that would cause me to retaliate. So I think that shows something to his character.
Yeah, that's good.
But we'll just say his name's Sean. So Sean's mom is very sick, or was very sick. She's beat cancer, but she's immunocompromised. Mm-hmm. And COVID's a really big threat to her. So Sean's been putting out a lot of these, hey, it's better to have a Thanksgiving.
Zoom Thanksgiving instead of a Thanksgiving in the ICU.
Yeah. And then made some really strong statements after that by posting projections from the doom and gloom squad of how our ORs are going to be overrun, our
ER.
Not ER. Our intensive care is going to be overrun by December 15th, and the sky's falling again and all that. And remember, folks, this is coming from the people who were the original, get prepared, this could be really bad. I mean, that we were one of the first, if not the first, out there saying, hey, we called it airborne before anyone. We called it and said, we told all of our clients, hey, listen, get ready for this. Expect lockdowns, expect a massive hit on the economy. We were way ahead of this. And then the data started coming in, and then we started relaxing what we're doing. But we still take this very serious, right? But here's what we can't do, right? The greatest threat to us as a country is not the most vulnerable of us getting sick and dying. We can survive that as a nation. Mm-hmm. It's sad. There will be tragedies. Lauren is immunocompromised. My whole reason for opening my eyes in the morning, her and baby B, she's got...
I have an autoimmune condition, celiac disease.
So, it's a very real thing to us. But what we can't do is kill our darn country by locking down anymore and driving us all into a Great Depression. Jeff Bezos is the only rich person in the world, right? He's made $80 billion since this has started.
That's crazy.
Right? I mean, talk about... disgusting.
Yes.
Right? So again, Sean happens to run a business that can do very well with this. He has we'll call it a sporting goods store that deals with outdoor equipment. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give away his identity. And, so it's great for him, right? Because everyone's exercising outdoors and he's got the stuff to do that. Yeah. So it's a little bit more difficult in some reasons, I'm sure, because they're, whatever. But hey, he's not a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Right? He's not one of these other businesses that can't operate a movie theater.
Yeah.
Right? So it's real easy for him to say, shut down social media or social distancing, mask up everyone, don't do Thanksgiving. And I finally had to come on there and respectfully disagree with him and said, listen, for everyone who is immunocompromised and for everyone who is high risk, stay home, lock yourself in your own house and try to live the highest quality life you possibly can. If that's your choice.
Yes.
But don't do that to the healthy people. Don't destroy everyone's life and livelihoods. Mm-hmm. Don't destroy and turn our country into a shadow of what it used to be to protect people who can be isolated by themselves.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about a 99.998% survival rate for this for people under the age of 60.
Yeah. Well, and what makes me sad, the saying is going around, kind of skip this year so that next year you don't have an empty seat at the table, implying that you might kill your your elderly with COVID. They're not guaranteed to be here next year anyways. And
stuff happens, people.
I mean, Jason, if anyone can understand that on a larger scale as far as people dying prematurely and all that, but especially your elderly, we're not guaranteed that time with them. And so now what if you have to look back and say, well, shoot, I gave up this precious holiday with my family and they died of natural causes or whatever within the next year. And there's that empty seat anyways. And now you don't have that memory of this holiday with them. So time is not guaranteed. And I think people are acting like it is by saying, we'll just skip all of this stuff this year. And that makes me really sad for those families.
Tomorrow is promised to no one.
Yeah.
Right. And here's what we're doing. And I think the Texas lieutenant governor said it best. Is in order for him, him being an old person, if he was going to sign, I'm not saying people should do this, but I think it would be very sad if we doomed our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren to poverty and early deaths to protect old people.
Yeah, he was saying, I'd be willing to die in order for them to have...
to guarantee them that future.
Yeah.
And I just find that there's a lot of people out there who are so selfish because they want to go out and they want to do whatever they can and force us all to suffer to do that.
Well, and what's funny is he was ridiculed. He was called selfish. He was put down for saying that, and that's the opposite of selfish. He was putting himself, his life at potential risk for the benefit of others. So, I mean, it really depends on how you look at it. And then, I mean, so yes, maybe grandma's going to be in that chair at next Thanksgiving, but is your teenager who now has depression and has a higher rate of suicide?
Exactly.
I mean, or who's now hooked on opioids? What weigh the risks? And I think there might be chairs empty at next Thanksgiving for other reasons that you didn't predict or didn't count on, and it's a shame.
So, again, this peaceful discussion evolved, and I just really think that people, are over it, right? And they're over it because they're seeing the hypocrisy of the left.
Yes.
They're seeing, hey, go out and celebrate and protest as BLM and Antifa and celebrate Joe Biden victory without it being called super spreader events. Mm-hmm. But Trump and anti-lockdown rallies are considered super spreader events by the media. Yeah. And then do as I say, not as I do, as we watch every politician on the left get caught breaking their own rules that they're telling us all to do it. And there's a trap here, and there's a really dangerous thing that we need to talk about real quickly wrapped up in this. And thank God law enforcement isn't following it. So a lot of these leftist Democrats, including Cuomo, who said that cops who refuse to arrest people for their gatherings or whatever are not law enforcement officers in his mind or whatever. So again, I'm paraphrasing.
So not that they'll be fired or anything, but just saying that they're not doing their duty.
Yeah, and it's like, these are the same people who didn't arrest rioters, didn't arrest looters, didn't arrest all these other people. Let them do whatever the hell they wanted. But the number one threat to our society is Thanksgiving and Christmas with your family.
It blows my mind that, I understand kind of putting out a general thing of we encourage you to reconsider family gatherings, but the fact that they are putting it out there that you are arrestable for having a family gathering, that just is insane.
For any police officer who actually goes out and enforces this, first of all, for those of you who are more, I bleed blue when you cut me. I am as pro-law enforcement as the day is long. And there's a trap in this, and the trap is that law enforcement goes out and starts enforcing this crap. That goes in and shuts down businesses, like I've seen on TV, particularly in some Democrat-leaning places where they're going in and doing crap that makes no sense. Mm-hmm. It's to separate your supporters from you. Who supports the police? Conservatives and people who go to work. Who doesn't support the police? The left. They're defunding you. They're coming for your job. They're assassinating you in the streets. Mm-hmm. This is an attempt to drive a wedge between the police and their last protectors, which are the conservatives. And it's to deprive conservatives, and so they won't call the police because the police will be the enemy. Mm-hmm. Right? So this is another attempt by the left to divide.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Right? So for the love of God, law enforcement officers out there, do not enforce this. If you got to go knock on the door, tell them, hey, I told you had to disband and go get a donut, you know, or a munchkin because they don't count. But anyways, you know, do not drive that wedge between you and your public. Let people manage their own risk. Let them manage their own risk. All right. We all are guaranteed in the Constitution to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're not guaranteed safety.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, COVID and the holidays, I hope that you continue your family traditions. I hope if you have somebody in a nursing home that you can't go get, that you do it through the window and you go that extra mile and you let your great grandma or your great aunt or your grandmother, whoever it is that is compromised, that you find a way to celebrate with them safely. But with your kids and with everyone else, get together, you know, praise the Lord, celebrate, be thankful this Thanksgiving, you know, for all the things that we're still here, that this country is still running and that we haven't devolved into mass violence yet, which is the next topic I want to talk about. Is there anything else you want to wrap up with COVID and the holidays?
No, I think, I mean, the whole thing is all about personal choice, and that's being taken away from us. So I hope that you can make your personal choice. And it's okay if your personal choice is for the safety of my family, we can't do it this year. That's fine. And I hope people don't come after you for it. But for the rest of us, I hope that the people who are choosing to isolate don't come after the rest of us who are choosing to not. So
it's everyone's individual decision on how they want to do this.
Yeah.
Right. No one's forcing you to go to restaurants, but I should be allowed to go to a restaurant if I want. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so anyways, you know, the first time in history where we locked down all the healthy people to protect the sick. It's
that's all being said. It's going to be the two of us for Thanksgiving. Not because we don't have it.
Not by choice. It's because not all of our family are on the other side of this. They're all locking down and staying away.
But we are making a meal for 20 anyways.
That's right. Leftovers, right? You're going to have leftovers. So again,
say prayers for poor Mama Perry over here who's going to be buried in dishes in the kitchen.
I'll do the dishes.
Just
you do the cooking.
The cooking.
Yeah. And hopefully, you know, I'm able to keep baby B safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of,
you want to talk about it?
I don't know if any of you saw the story on our Instagram, Facebook page yesterday.
And MeWe, I posted on MeWe as well.
She had a run-in with our brick hearth. She has a tendency to headbutt things, and she chose the wrong thing to headbutt. She tripped and fell, bang, right into the edge of that. And she's got a nice little bruise. It was all swollen. Didn't even look like her yesterday. But they heal fast, those little buggers. I mean, she's already looking better.
Faces heal fast, and the swelling went down. I thought she was going to at least have one black eye, but
she's good. Bruise is going away, swelling's going away. So
and she was a trooper.
She cried for like a minute, and then she was as happy as she could ever be.
And just broke my heart for anybody.
It's hard to look at her.
who's ever had a child who had a real injury. My heart goes out to them. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You know, the hell I put my family through with all the injuries.
Your cut off toe from your bike. We can
big
deal with a
toe
bump and a bruise, but oops.
Broken bones and concussions and stitches and everything else. Being a knucklehead.